The Watchers. The Watchers is a directorial debut by Shannon Night Shyamalan, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, about Mia, played by Dakota Fanning, who gets stranded deep in the forest in Western Ireland in the dark. Finding shelter on a floor-level bunker that has the exterior of a window when people can see into the bunker, but those inside the bunker can't see outside, but an interior mirror instead. Mia is now trapped inside this bunker indefinitely with three others, who are now compelled to be on display in front of the window, being watched by mysterious creatures like mannequins on display in a shop window when they come out at night. Okay. So when I saw the trailer to this movie a few months back, finding out it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, with Dakota Fanning as its central role, alongside with its mysterious traditional Night Shyamalan-esque premise, I was literally gasping to see this movie, but I had concerns. Was the amazing enthralling trailer being deceptive, showing this movie's best parts, and also Dakota Fanning's performance, which I'll get to later. The premise of this movie, which is explained brilliantly in the trailer, very unique, extremely, as I said, Night Shyamalan-esque, and it's when Mia is plunged into this Night Shyamalan universe that this movie is at its best. Us, the viewers, are learning alongside Mia about this mysterious bunker called the Coop, learning and getting to know the three strangers in the bunker with her, who have been there a lot longer than she has, the various rules and regulations she has to comply with, Mia desperately trying to scratch the surface, trying to make sense of it all, bending the rules and regulations when no one is looking, and then putting on a poker face while being on display in front of those creatures at night, hoping they don't figure out what she's been up to earlier. And while we're following Mia looking for ways to escape and trying to find clues regarding the creatures who come out to watch her at night, this movie is at its intriguing best. Now, Shannon Night Shyamalan had the unenviable task of walking in her father's filmmaking footsteps, but at the same time going slightly left of centre of M. Night Shyamalan to put her own unique stamp on the movie. Now, it's obvious to me at least that Shannon Night Shyamalan watched countless of classic horror movies, and movies that may not be labelled horror but with horror elements attached, and like countless Stephen King movies, Hitchcock movies, movies like Identity with John Cusack, Frailty with Matthew McConaughey, Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio even, and then said to whoever that she was not going to fall into the trappings and remove this movie and not copycat this movie from those above mentioned movies already in existence, as amazing and classic as they are, but that she consciously wanted to make a movie, as I said, with her own unique stamp on it, despite this movie, again, as I said, being very much Night Shyamalan-esque, and in that regard, Shannon Night Shyamalan, bearing in mind this is her directorial debut, does achieve that brilliantly. Now later on, this movie does suffer from fake CGI, which kind of poos on the movie's credibility up to that point. Practical effects would have been so much more believable and scarier, and it kind of beggars belief that this wasn't realised and put into effect. And there is a reveal in the latter part of this movie, way more a reveal than a twist, to be honest, and to be honest, I was shrugging my shoulders at this reveal. This movie then uses the reveal as its trump card, literally ramming this reveal down our throats. And the reveal isn't even remotely close, not by 1,000 miles, as skies are scosy as they'd like us to believe, and at least 10 minutes or so on the backdrop of this reveal could have ended up on the editing floor, to be honest. Now, other than all of that, this movie is a great watch. Could have been way more scarier, I thought, but is a relatively decent watch at the cinema overall. Now, Dakota Fanning first came to my attention as an extremely young child actress in I Am Sam with Sean Penn and Michelle Pfeiffer in 2002. I was literally gasping for air watching this adorable kid delivering an off the Richter scale performance in this. Bewildering Dakota Fanning performances continued in the years that followed: Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, Hide and Seek with Robert De Niro, and War of the Worlds remake with Tom Cruise. Dakota Fanning delivering the most mind-blowing, utterly astonishing child actress performances ever. Back in 2008, I was really excited to see The Secret Life of Bees and ended up purchasing it on DVD, all for the sake of seeing Dakota Fanning's performance in it, and I was absolutely horrified, to be honest. It was as if Dakota Fanning had taken a few Valium and was literally nodding off on film, and that scene where the father is shouting and roaring at her, I mean, for goodness sake, he might as well have been shouting and roaring at a mannequin. Despite remaining active as an actress in completely under the radar movies after that and delivering better best forgotten cameos in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Equalizer 3, I was extremely curious to see Dakota Fanning's performance in this. Hoped that Dakota Fanning would realise that she'd been given a bolt out of the blue opportunity to reboot her career in this, and that she had the cop on to know that she needed to deliver a credible and pull something out of the hat performance wise in this movie to put herself back on the map and relevant again. And how was Dakota Fanning going to cope in the lead role of a Night Shyamalan movie removed from your regular run of the mill mainstream movie? And I have to say, Dakota Fanning gets the balance absolutely spot on. Dakota Fanning is given so much to do in this movie, from being bewildered like a rabbit caught in the headlights when first plunged into this mysterious universe, to her earlier mentioned poker face in front of the watchers, having broken their very strict rules, to being traumatized during those climatic scenes. Dakota Fanning is just phenomenal, more or less carrying the weight of this movie on her shoulders, unquestionably putting herself back on the map again. And I loved that Dakota Fanning worked hand in glove with her co-stars, not elbowing them out the way to upstage them to get recognition. Yeah, so there you have it, 6 out of 10.